What are the key characteristics of agile or iterative projects?
One of the key aspects of Agile is its iterative nature, and that means it's short, repeatable bursts of energy to build solutions. And that means that we can get feedback each time to make sure that we're building the right solution for the right people and haven't gone off in a different direction.
What are the conditions where this approach works best?
When building websites, for example, Agile works very well here because websites famously need customers to understand what features they need. So teams can build prototypes or a series of minimum viable products to start building features and ask customers and stakeholders to review them periodically just to check and validate that the website is building in the right way and the features that they're building are the right ones.
What are the benefits of agile or iterative project approaches?
One of the main benefits for business leaders and for management is Agile's risk mitigation, because if we're acting in an iterative way, we're discovering risks as we go, we're monitoring them as early as possible, and thereby we can take action on those risks as early as possible, which is usually better risk mitigation and cheaper. So thereby, Agile projects are much less risky than the traditional methods. And for teams, that means working together daily, face to face, and having good information transparency, and then making decisions quickly and implementing them. And of course, if a teams do that, they can play down the risk of building the wrong thing.
What is the Scrum framework?
When teams are working with iterations, quite often they use something called the Scrum framework, which focuses on 2-week periods. And each 2-week period, called a sprint, you could think of as a mini project. It has a planning event at the beginning, and at the end, the teams review and reflect on what they've built, and that feedback then goes to the next planning meeting for the next 2 weeks. So these mini projects have a goal of delivering some valuable software, even though it could be very small, to build up towards that MVP or that solution. And teams like working in this way because they feel very engaged in the process. They have a lot of information transparency, so they understand exactly what's going on. They have input into decision making, and things go very quickly like that. In effect, they're owning their own process in building the software.
What is the experience of iterative projects like for the teams?
The experience of teams in working in this way is very positive because they get to see the impact that their work is having on their customers because they're asking for their customers' feedback. So they can see the efforts that they've made and how that affects what the customer is looking for. And on the other side, the customer is getting very good attention by the teams and being listened to in what they want and their needs. And so they feel very engaged in the process. And in fact, this whole system means that both parties are self-determining in what the software is going to be and who it's valuable to. This is a very much more positive and engaging way to work than previously.
What is the role of management in an agile project team?
While agile methods are good for teams in working in this new way, frequently one of the problems we have is the role of management, because the teams are now set up to manage themselves in many ways, and that means management has a different role to play. Rather than a command and control structure where management make all the decisions and tell the teams what to do, now they have a different role to play. And the role they're playing is much more one of leadership than management. They need to be able to support the teams and help them to achieve their goals rather than setting their goals and motivating the teams.